I certainly can remember how hard it was to be without electricity. But the worst thing at all with being without electricity was I had to pump water to take to the animals and bring in the house in a bucket, you know. And so it was wonderful to get electricity because I hated to pump water worse than anything in this world.
Well, we had our kerosene lamps, and we cooked with wood on a wood stove and had our fireplaces that our dad cut wood in the forest out there that was on his farm, you know. And we had our own wood, we didn't have to buy it.
And we finally got a wood stove, which my wife would have raised us on a wood stove. You get used to it. And we used that and the kerosene combined.
My daddy and them grew up without electricity, and then he had one of the first refrigerators that come out as a Kelvinator, and you could put a thing on the bottom uppers and he'd cut out in that ice. No electricity. And then you take a shovel and cut them cubes of ice off. Time you got ready for the next meal, it'd go down in that ice, you know.
Well, Dad wouldn't ever have it because he was scared of electricity, see. So, but that's the way it is, so, you know.
We either had a well or a pump. Now, one place on one farm where we lived, well, it was a well. And then the other farm that we went to later in my life was a pump. You pumped it by hand, you know.
Sometimes we had to put some tubs out in the yard because we didn't have a heater, you know, and we'd have to let the sun heat our water. And then we'd bring that water into the house in buckets. It was tough.
Heated a stove, kitchen stove. Pour it in a pan, a foot tub. A foot tub it's just like a tub, but it had handles on it. You know, it hold about 5 gallons of water. You make it, you just heat it on the stove and put it in that pan. Had one felt, oh no, what a foot tub I had. There was a foot tub or something, or you wash your feet in.
And you boiled those clothes and then rinsed them in 3 waters. Had to have those big tubs full of water, and then you rinse them in that.
And my washing was another chore. I had the old wringer type washer, and I was always so afraid I'd catch my hand in that wringer. But I didn't have that until after I was married. But Mother had to go to outside to do her washing, and I was at home and had to boil the clothes. And I don't know why she had to beat them, but she had to use something and beat the clothes, she said, to clean them.
We had a little lamp about that big, it hold quart of kerosene. It didn't have it. It was just smoking like a tar kettle, you know. You put a piece of rope or something in there, make a wick, you know, cotton straight, cotton, piece of anything kind of burn, you know. Put a wick in there and have something run up and down, you know. And then they come along with a chimney and put it on that lamp. Later, after, had that little oil lamp, had a chimney, had a wick in it, flat wick, you know. It'd be about this high. It had a chimney to it.
Well, you just had a lamp, you know. A lot of folks had a Aladdin lamp. A lot of folks just had just a regular old lamp, but you didn't get much light out of the lamp, see.
Well, we had these kerosene lamps, and with a globe on them, and that's the way we lit our house. And I don't think we even had no candles in. We might have had some candles, but just regular gas or kerosene lamps with a globe on them.
Okay, now this is where you put the kerosene, and then the fixture for the, it was a wick up here, and then we made this electric thing there. My mother had it for years, and she was 91 when she died, and she's been gone about 28 or 9 years. So this is old. But now this one back here that's kerosene is not that old. And see, there's the kerosene and then the wick, and this is where you turn it on right there. This was bought in the later years. I tell you, I haven't had it. When I was working at the fashion shop, well, the lights would go out all along, and we all three of us bought one, so we'd have one at home and at the store.
That lamp light was a make-out. That's all you could say for it.
Didn't have no heap of fire. Firewood, pine wood. Pine wood with the olive bark on it, just the hearts, you know, mostly.
We used that kerosene when it was a rainy season, or that wood didn't burn too well in the stove when it was wet.
We had a fireplace in there, and we'd had to get up and build a fire. We slept on 4 or 5 quilts to keep warm when back then.
I've always had asthma and allergies, and we had to heat with kerosene, and Mother cooked with kerosene. She was cooking with kerosene when I married in '49. And the odors from that was awful.
And we had a heater that we burned coal in, though. At first, when we stopped using the fireplace with the wood, we had a heater that we burned coal in. Coal, not cold, coal.
They put it in a jug and let it down in the well. Yeah. Most of the well is about 20 feet down there to the water, you know. Let them down the rope and put them up and down and let it go down, stay in all day, pull it out and get you some milk, put it back in there.
Instead of having floors with carpet on it that we could mop and stuff like that, we had to do what we call scrubbing the floor with a shalk scrub broom. Shalks came off of the corn, and we dried them good and cleaned them well, and they were ready to clean our floors. Well, they were in our loft, for one thing, and us children were excited about that, them getting in the loft to put wires up there. So that's one thing I remember about it, and about all, to tell you the truth.
We had drop cords, no plug-ins, and a little old fuse box. Weren't 4 fuses, I believe, screw-in fuses. We put in a bigger switch box, and we began to get electric fans, and we did get a hot water heater, because electricity running on it every time it thundered, that hot water heater would go out. So we put one of these lightning arresters on, and it didn't do it no more. The insurance always pay for it, but I don't think they would now.
Of course, when we first got lights, they were hanging with a cord, and you had to pull them on, and couldn't have large bulbs because it'd blow the circuits, you know. And so then finally we got where we could have an electric motor to go on that pump, and Daddy built a big tank and put it up on pedestals, and that gave us the force to bring some water in the house and to the animals. That was great. I thought that was the most wonderful thing that had ever happened to us.
Well, it just sort of tickled them when they see them lights come on, see? They kind of laugh about that, you know. Sure would.
He just was proud to have that good light, and was proud that she could have something to cook with other than kerosene oil and wood.
It's a great blessing to have the electricity and to be able to pay it. It's like everything else. The bill's going up, but everything else is too.
Well, they'd ask you how's this going to work now, you know, when you get it to the house. You'd have to tell them how they'd have to turn on switches and everything in the box, you know, to get the wire run and turn it on out of the box, and then they'd have lights there, see. And it just ticked the funk out of a lot of them, see. Yeah.
Well, you had to open the windows, and before we got electricity, we had to use the fans a little bit, you know, had to fan ourselves.
Now that we got air conditioning, well, that changed the whole story.
I didn't have that automatic air conditioning until I moved over here in '74. We've had it ever since '74. Here at the other place, we had fans and stuff like that.
Then when we did get it, well, then everybody was thrilled to death. You know, we just thought we were something. We'd got the lights and all the electric stuff. And I'll never forget the first electric stove that Mama got. That was uptown some, I tell you, it was.
I just couldn't imagine, boy, where would we be at, knowing you weren't going to have any time soon, you know? Where would you be? You didn't have nothing to look forward to if you didn't have electricity. That's the best thing that ever come on this earth.
Well, the best thing the co-op done for there was get lights in them, you know, for the area. That's the best thing they've done. That's helped people more than anything else, the lights. See, we couldn't do without lights here now. You couldn't get no water, nothing like that, see.
It was a fascinating time. It still is, you know, so many new things are coming on the market now that makes our work a lot easier to do, to have all these nice conveniences that we have.
George, everything is cutouts for. Yes, sir. Got lights, and we got all kinds of gibbous things now. You got to, you know, you hook up and plug in. It's just enormous. You wouldn't imagine, boy, all that years ago, something like that coming on. I said I'd be proud of me here all my life. I didn't know I was going to get something else better. You know, electricity's been the best thing that ever come in this country, for anything.